Alright, let's begin. Adventure of the Runaway Room. I only drink a little bit. I drink in a gentlemanly manner. Not really, it's pretty bad.
Glancing over my records of the late last century, I am faced by the events of a certain bitter
The winter. Nah,
murder in a carriage
I'm not drunk.
as it sped through dense London fog in the dead of night. Though the
A little hot
victim
sake, that's all.
were the only ones inside, there were multiple witnesses to the crime itself. However, none could have imagined at the time that such a seemingly obvious case as this would end in such a horrendous manner. My friend, Mr. Herlock
Relax,
Sholmes, once said of the incident, I believe
No, I think this is Watson talking.
that case was indeed the prelude.
We'll find out though.
The beginning of a long concerto that impressive Japanese student and I were to play together.
Maybe I am. Yeah, about to say, maybe I am. Oh, cutscene. Hey, I look pretty cool.
Amazing. Is this really just a railway station?
Railway station or not, I've never seen such an enormous building before.
Sounds so British.
And look at all the steam locomotives.
There is an anime for Ace Attorney.
This country is incredible.
Music reminds me of Professor Layton. I like it. It's really cute. Oops, I got 2 friend requests I need to add.
I feel like I'm dreaming.
So this is the capital of Great Britain.
So, where to?
Oh, hello.
Climb aboard. I'll take you wherever you want to go.
Take me to Japan.
In that case, the Supreme Court in Whitehall, if you wouldn't mind.
My
Guy looks kinda like the guy named Phoenix Wright. Might be his ancestor.
I suppose you're visiting students from abroad, eh?
Yes.
Thought so. Well then, I hope you enjoy your stay.
I only go an hour tonight, that way we're not up until like
To the centre
midnight
of the
again.
world. Great Britain's mighty capital, London.
British Supreme Court. Chief Justice's office. Want to suffer the consequences of staying up until midnight? Yeah, I think he fell asleep last time. What an incredible place. It's so imposing. It's almost suffocating. This place is breathtaking. It looks like a fortress. Yeah, that's why I'm only gonna go an hour. There are some stone buildings like this in Japan now, of course. But they've only been built in a few short decades since we opened our borders to the outside world. An authentic example like this is quite a different impact, wouldn't you agree? And I can actually have my camera on more, because I got a Bluetooth mouse now. So it doesn't need USB. Far cry from the wood and paper most of our buildings are constructed from. It's certainly unfamiliar. The gears? That's because I think they're in the Big Ben, aren't they? The big clock? But I think there's more to the differences than just construction materials. And I know what the Prosecutor looks like in this one, because they showed him in the trailer. He looks like a vampire, so I'm kind of excited to face off against him. What is this place again? This is the Lord Chief Justice's office, Narahata-san, in the Supreme Court of Great Britain. Oh, I'm Big Ted. The other one. The Lord Chief Justice. Yeah, I'm excited to face off against the Prosecutor. We had just instructions to report here at this time. If circumstances were different, we were supposed to let the Lord Chief Justice know that we had arrived from Japan. But Kazuya can't. No. So instead we are here in a different capacity. As envoys to report the news of Kazuya-sama's death. See that face? Cat face. Yes. And having delivered his or her message, an envoy's duty is done. Well, we'd have to return to Japan. If we want to remain here in Great Britain, I have to take Kazuya's place as the law student selected for the study tour. I don't know. So far they're saying yes. They have confirmed he's dead. I still don't think he's dead though. Yes, which means you need the requisite qualifications as a lawyer. Which is what I've been studying for. Here in Great Britain, it's the Lord Chief Justice who appoints lawyers. So that the second reason why we're here is to have you officially recognized as a lawyer. It's the only way that we'll be able to remain here in the London. In the London? That was so pretty. I do like her character. Let's see. And there should be people. I like to check this out. Wow, she is young. She's only 16. Did Edward kill Kazuya with the steel chair? He might have. That's why I don't think Kazuya is dead, because he's too much like Edgeworth. I think that's Edward's ancestor. Good morning. Sorry for keeping you. Who's talking? Who is it? Oh. I got that early. Oh. I trust you aren't too exhausted after your long voyage from Japan. Give him something different. Woman? What? Seems I'm 1 hour, 12 minutes and 47 seconds late. My apologies. Oh, no, don't mention it. We're never happier than when we're standing around with nothing much to do. How fortunate. So, introductions. I'm Male Strongheart, Lord Chief Justice of the British Empire. And I feel like a little mouse under an elephant's foot. Come on, Mr. Nahato, don't be a mouse. Oh, Male? What? It's an honor to meet you, Lord Chief Justice Strongheart. Don't really have a British accent. I'm Ryunosuke Naruto from the Empire of Japan. Like, well, Mr. Naruto. Try to do it. Welcome to London, the capital of our glorious British Empire. Yes, thank you. Let's examine. I like to examine things first. Look at these menacing metal giants facing each other across the room. I believe they're suits of armor. Oh, right. I thought maybe they were like lion dogs we have in Japan guarding shrine gates. No, not at all. In fact, in Europe, suits of armor like these are always possessed by evil spirits, you know? It's him. If it allowed me to, I actually would. And they roam around in the middle of the night. Really? Is there nothing you don't know, Mr. Sato? This book tells me everything I need to know about everything. If you're ever unsure, just ask. It's like my Cyanide and Happiness YouTube videos. Every time I could ask someone out to prom, no matter who or what they were, I always asked them. It was funny. Where did you get the incredible tome? This must be the Lord Chief Justice's desk. I believe it's made of marble. It looks more like an over-the-top tombstone that's toppled over to me. I think that's your fanciful imagination at work again, Mr. Naruto. It feels like everything that's normally made of wood and paper at home. Don't know. Is made of bricks and stone here. I know. That's why this place feels so overbearing, I'm sure. Look at the big clock. Is this some kind of clock? Actually, I think we might be inside some sort of giant clock. But those gears are larger than anything you'd find on steam locomotive even. It's eerie. Do you think the clocks are some sort of hobby of his? The Lord Chief Justice, I mean. Well, boys do enjoy fiddling around with machines, don't they? I'm not sure you could fiddle with cogs that size, and I'm certain you couldn't call him a boy. Still, it's amazing how little noise the cogs make, considering how large they are. There's actually something quite soothing about their precise rhythm. I do find clocks soothing. I like that. I used to love to listen to clocks, like, just tick. Just look at all the naughty books placed packed together on these shelves. You go from floor to ceiling. And they're all books that you couldn't hope to come by in Japan. It's like a dream. Yes, a very bad dream. They're not all about British law either. There are books about the judicial systems of the Western nations. France, Germany, Spain, Holland. What about Russia? Why do you ask? I was wondering about asking the Lord Chief Justice how you say wardrobe in Russian. What do you think? Probably. I think perhaps it's a thought best abandoned. Alright, so we kind of looked everywhere. I don't think there's anything left. Yeah. Oh, you can look around a bit more, I think, though. Wrong button. Doesn't really give us much. Bigger view. So, what are your impressions of our capital so far? How do you like London? Oh, help! I've been nervous ever since I got here that I can't remember a single thing about the city. It's simply splendid, isn't it, Mr. Naruto? Oh? We had a wonderful view of some London streets from the carriage on the way here from the station. Everything is so impressive and grand. I must say I'm almost lost for words. I'm glad to hear you like it. The city boasts tramway, piped water and gas, even cable supply electricity. We spearhead every revolutionary new technology in the world. Every visitor to London is astounded. Big Ted is better than any site in London. Oh yes, astounded is the word. He reminds me of the guy from Guilty Gear. Thanks for saving me there, Susato-san. And everyone seems so jolly and full of vigor. Yes. There's much excitement about the upcoming Great Exhibition we will be hosting here in London. Great Exhibition? He pulls out a cane. Cultural and technological achievements from around the globe are to be exhibited here in our great city. It'll be the greatest spectacle of its kind in history, and will make Paris's World Fair look like a toy shop. Gosh, I can hardly imagine how magnificent it's going to be. Great Britain's capital city is nothing but magnificent. London is the center of the modern world. Even if you do say so yourself. The sun will never set on our great empire. Perhaps it is fate in these progressive times. We welcome visitors from the land of the rising sun. Law student. Lord Chief Justice? I think you were expecting a student of law for the study tour, weren't you? I totally get gamer. It has been a minute. Absolutely. A Mr. Kazuya Sogi, if my memory serves. That's right. The British government has also been telegraphed a full report of the situation. I understand the young man lost his life aboard the steamship bound for our shores. That's amazing. The news reached him before we even arrived. Uh-huh. Got him. How you doing? I'm doing pretty good. My country naturally extends its deepest condolences to yours. Oh, thank you. And you honor this appointment specifically to inform me of this news? Yes. We are here in the capacity of envoys from Japan to report the sad news in person. They tell me you Japanese are people of protocol and courtesy, and I see that is true. And it is with some regret that I must inform you that the death of the young lawyer means this study tour arrangement can no longer proceed. Ask Fallout games are wild. I've been playing Fallout 3, Vegas. I don't think he is yet. We never saw the dead body. I'm gonna say that. We haven't saw the dead body. You would just hear us out, Lord Strongheart. What do you have to say, madam? It's about the study tour. Mr. Naruhara here would like to make a proposal. Witty now. Well, Mr. Naruhara. This is it then. The moment of truth. Renewing the study. Just in photos. I mean, he wasn't... there was not enough blood, but... I don't know. Something doesn't sit right with it. But I guess we'll find out later. The thing is, Lord Justice, Lord Strongheart, I was wondering if perhaps you would consider allowing the study tour to go ahead.
Don't misunderstand me. Bryn would ideally like to see the tour go ahead. But without a lawyer from your country, there's nothing to be done.
Well, in that case, what if there was someone else? Another lawyer from Japan, I mean.
Is there something I don't know? Only a single lawyer was invited to Great Britain from your country. And that was Mr. Asogi. At least that is what I've been led to understand.
Well, the thing is, it really isn't going well at all. I seem to find the right words to say to this man. Mr. Naruhito, said Lord Justice Strongheart. That's such hospitality every time you address him. I don't know. I guess because he's the main man. He's the main guy here. He'd ruin things here if I'm not careful. What am I gonna say? If there's someone else here from Japan who would be described as a lawyer, it's... Actually, there's no one. It's Miss Susato. Me. Alright, let's see what happens if we actually... I don't think we're gonna get any, like, negative marks. So hopefully this is... Boots as well. No, that guy's coming up later. I don't know his name, but it's gonna be the Prosecutor. It can probably only be... Yes! Miss Susato!
An unusual introduction. But I presume you mean this charming lady beside you? You're a lawyer, are you?
I don't think you actually kissed their boots for real, but they definitely have their boots up on the table enough that you could. Look, she's giving me. For all the days of hard work she put to help me study, I can't let her down now. I think that's quite enough joking, don't you, Lord Strongheart? My real answer is... It's me. I can do it. I'm gonna get thrown later.
Is that so?
I mean, I don't actually have any qualifications as such, but...
No qualifications, you say, and yet you still claim to be a lawyer.
I have acted as a lawyer in court before. Only once, as it happens. I had Kazuya to help me, and I was the accused, but glossing over the details. I'm excited to see the Prosecutor. Oh, well, we have a moment. Let's see if we can actually get his information. He's 52 years old. I thought he was in his 30s. I don't think you want to hurt him. He looks like he's in shape. Male Strongheart. Oh, male. Lord Chief Justice who wields absolute authority in judicial matters, including the appointment of lawyers. He's a thoroughly intimidating man. He's 52 years old. I've been spending every spare moment on the journey here to Great Britain studying. I've learned all about British law and court proceedings while I was on board the SS Bureau.
Voyage from Japan is some 50 days. Now what you might call not what you might call a full education. To become a qualified lawyer here in Britain, not only do you need a university degree in law, you must also complete several years of training.
I realize it's far too short a period of time. He's got experience though. But I just can't go back to Japan. Kazuya, Mr. Asogi's journey had only just begun. Coming here on the study tour was all he thought about. I have to carry on and do everything he planned to do. I know it must sound like I have an overly inflated opinion of myself, but I would do anything to prove that I have what it takes. Any test you care to set me. Little Mac cosplay. Yeah. And Little Mac training. Just one chance, that's all I'm asking for. Please.
31 seconds.
Sorry?
Your opening statement there, Mr. Naruto. It was 31 seconds long. Not too brief, not too protracted. A perfectly judged appeal, I would say. Which is a skill that would stand you in good stead as a lawyer.
Oh, thanks.
So, you're willing to put those words to trial, are you? Well, I'm all for entertainment.
Huh?
But let me ask you one thing first, sir.
Yes.
You say you intend to do everything Mr. Asogi planned to do. Are you firmly set on that path?
Well,
Yes, that's my intention. I see. Am I imagining things? Or did the expression just alter a fraction there all of a sudden? Very well. You have your wish. I'll give you a chance. A test to become a specially certified lawyer. Whether you pass or fail is entirely down to you. Really? Alright, what's this test? So, what form will this test take exactly? Tell me, Mr. Naruto, what do you consider the role of a lawyer to be? Well, defending people, of course. Well said. So, let's have you defend someone. Huh? Already gonna put me in the court. Nice. He's imagining things. Your timing is perfect. In fact, there's an apt trial about to begin later today. No advocate has been appointed for the defense as of yet, so this will be a welcome news. Today? Straight away? Is a reason to live. I'm excited. I get to go to court right away, finally. If you manage to secure a verdict of not guilty, you'll have passed my test. What could be simpler? How do I get myself into these situations? Well, could I ask, what sort of trial is it, Lord Strongheart? Yes, good question. I remember. It's a murder trial. Murder? An extremely simple case, I understand. You really can't lose. That's easy to say. But I should mention, just in case, if the defendant is found guilty, he'll of course be sentenced to capital punishment. Capital punishment? He'll be put to death? Murder as usual? There's murder everywhere. Here in Great Britain, murderers are sent to the gallows without exception. Presumably, you read that much into your short C-based introduction in British law? We can't possibly agree to such a test. We would be toying with the man's life. I'm the Lord Chief Justice. I've decided it's acceptable. But you can't do that, can you? There's no need to overcomplicate this. All you have to do is ensure that you don't lose. Just like in Smash, if you don't lose, then you win. So the defendant may live or die depending on how well I perform in court. If I lose, you'll be hanged. Mr. Naruto, you've come to me claiming to be a lawyer. If you want me to take you seriously, you'll need to prove you're willing to do a lawyer's job. And you say you intend to see through the will of your compatriot, Mr. Asogi? Lose, yeah. I would like to understand just how far you're willing to go in order to make that happen. Testing my resolve. What's the matter? You've fallen silent. I'm sorry, but time is pressing. The trial begins shortly. I need an answer from you now. What's it to be? Dude, I say do it. What do I say? Do I agree to this absurd test? We got this. Alright then. If I have to give you a decision now, my answer is... I can't do it. I can't get the words out. 15 seconds. Your decision making needs work if you want to be a lawyer. That was too slow. So it's as I suspected, is it? Sorry? You have noble intentions, but lack the resolve to see them through. The test is cancelled. Thank you for stopping by. Go and acquire your ticket for passage back to the east tomorrow. This conversation is over. Yes, Lord Strongheart. Thank you for offering me a chance. I lost. Mr. Naruto. I'm sorry, Mrs. Sato, but what could I do? It's alright, I understand. You do? It's not an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. But resolve has absolutely nothing to do with it. What are you trying to say, madam? I think what Mrs. Sato means is that no matter how badly I'd like to be recognized as a lawyer and stay here in Great Britain, to risk another man's life by treating his one and only chance at a trial so trivially would be utterly unforgivable. I feel exactly the same way. Ah, so that was the test. I'm sure the defendant won't see this trial as a test, as some kind of experiment. The lawyer may fight for his clients in court day after day, but for each one of those clients, a particular day they stand in the dock may be the only chance they have to fight to prove their innocence. No, I was wrong. I'm not qualified to do that job yet. I'm sorry for wasting your precious time, Lord Chief Justice. Ah. Wait, Mr. Naruhado. Oh, was there something else? It's approximately 20 minutes by carriage to the Old Bailey from here. If you leave immediately, you should still be there in time. But I just said that. I was quite serious in what I told you. The defendant in this case has literally no one to advocate for him. What? At this point, he can't hope to find someone to represent him. The trial will begin without a defense. And if that happens, there is only one possible outcome. You will receive the most severe sentence the judge can pass down. Wait, wouldn't that just mean he has to defend himself? But that's awful. That is the truth. Why does it have to be like this? Please don't expect an answer to every question. The cold hard truth of the matter is that there is only one person now with the chance to save this man from a very miserable end. And that is you. I'm really his only hope? So, what do you say now, madam? Me? What do you mean, Lord Strongheart? You said it was an easy decision to choose whether to defend a man in these circumstances. And I agree. But in my estimation, it is purely and simply a matter of resolve. Oh. Our time is up here. I have a meeting to attend. Must leave in 2 minutes and 16 seconds. So, venture into our great city and enjoy yourself. He's gone. Huh. The Old Bailey. Alright, so we're gonna do it anyway. If we're gonna do this, Mr. Naruhado, we must leave at once. Doctor, if I want. Miss... You got into a ready stance right away. Miss Susato, can I ask you something? Careful! From this position, I can perform a Susato takedown in an instant. I know. Mr. Naruhado, you heard Lord Strongheart. The trial starts imminently. If I need to throw you, I will. You know, you could just say, I think we should hurry to the courtroom. If you need to ask me anything, I had better wait until we're at the Old Bailey. Okay, I guess it's time to move. The Old Bailey. Drink some water real quick while that types. Don't even defend him. Oh, thank goodness, we're in time. There's still 15 minutes until the trial begins. I never knew a horse-drawn carriage could go so fast. I thought my teeth were gonna rattle loose. I'm gonna try not. It's my big water jug. I'm supposed to drink this entire thing in a day. Did you hear what I said to the driver when we climbed aboard? Get us to our destination in 5 minutes, driver, and there's a guinea in it for you. It's one of my favorite lines from Herlock Sholmes' stories, and it worked quite perfectly. I'm not sure why you're so pleased. I thought we were gonna die, and we had to pay gold for the privilege. Well, at least we arrived before the trial started. You would die if you did. Yes, I suppose there's that. Anyway, I don't understand it. The court clerk said the defendant should be here, but there's no sign of him at all. This is one of the guards. So this is the Old Bailey. Even this room for defendants to wait in is grand. It actually happened at the one of the Splatoon fests. They had an actual live event for Splatoon, and it was a water drinking contest. And the person that won actually died from it. Kind of messed up. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhado? I'm feeling tense, that's all. This place gives me the same sense of foreboding that I remember from Supreme Court in Japan. An oppressive air, almost as if the building itself is going to crush whoever is about to be sentenced. Yeah. A real one? Yeah. I mean, he won the contest. Actually, I think it was a female. I think she won the contest. But, yeah, she died from water poisoning. Oh, not poisoning, but like water toxicity, I think it's called. Over drinking water. I mean, definitely had the heart for it. It feels like only yesterday that I was the one about to be crushed. Yes, whoever the man you're defending, or to defend is, I imagine he's feeling very alone at this moment. Top of the morning to you, madam, sir. Look at this guy. What are you doing following me here? Things are fair desperate, are they? Sorry? Would you look at those expressionless faces? From the east, are yous? We're from Japan, yes? That's what I'm wondering. Ah, Japan it is. Right, say no more. So, how much do yous need? No, we're just here because... Kill it. I mean, he might get the death sentence. No need to explain, fella. I've been there myself, so I have. No place to go, none to eat, barely a penny to your name, and all while in a strange faraway land. Well, actually, we haven't found a place to stay yet, no. 'Tis grand, 'tis grand. Let me start by giving you 1,000 guineas. Say nothing now. 1,000 guineas? Please, Mr. Sato, you don't have to shout. But 1,000 guineas is enough to build an entire mansion in the most prestigious area of Tokyo. What? The demented Willy Wonka, I can see that. There's nothing to me at all. I like to ensure I have sufficient funds to weather a rainy day, you see. I have enough wealth to buy the city of London 2 or 3 times over. That much rain even fall in one day? Well, even so, we couldn't possibly accept such a large sum of money. Oh, thanks. Ah! One hit me in the eye! Don't get me wrong, fella. I'm not giving it to you, no strings attached. I'll be wanting you to do something for me. Oh? To be honest, 'tis a little embarrassing. The trial's about to begin, you see, is for me good self here. I'll be on the dock. Almost said clock. So yes, I'm trying. So now, what I want you to do... Willy Wonka? Yeah. Is come along with me and stand there beside me. Officially, you'd be my lawyer, but that's just a little detail now. Oh, well, the thing is, don't worry about a thing. All you have to do is stand up next to me. Nothing more. Otherwise, you see, the trial's gonna start without me having any kind of representation at all. So it was true. The Lord Chief Justice wasn't just making it all up. I'm terribly sorry to have asked, but does that mean you're the defendant in this trial? Bluster and blazes, do you not know who I am? Me? One of London's biggest names? No. Sorry, we've only just arrived in the city, you see. I see. I suppose it isn't altogether impossible. Well, just next to Hyde Park, the center of London is another beautiful park. Sorry, a park? What? It's called McGilded Park, full of blossoming flowers in the springs and singing birds and whatnot. I donated it to the city, so I did. An entire park? In central London? A city of smiles, that's my vision for London. There's nothing Magnus McGilded wouldn't do for the city and its choir of old people. That's amazing. I mean, really extraordinary. But now they're the gall to say I'm good for nothing criminal. Me, Magnus McGilded. What is the matter with the London police, I ask ya? Alright, don't pass out. Alright, check this guy out if we got any news on him. He's actually younger than the Chief Justice, 48 years old, the defendant in the case. He's an incredibly wealthy philanthropist with a wonderful reputation in London. I'm to defend him as a test of my worthiness to become a lawyer. Like, please kill it. Magnus, please kill it. Mr. Naruhado.
Perhaps now would be a good time to introduce ourselves while the gentleman catches his breath. Good idea. Mr. McGilded, the thing is, we're actually here in London to study British law. We're law students on a study tour from Japan, you see. Mr. Beast? Aw. He doesn't seem like he's a bad guy. So, if you don't have a lawyer for the trial yet, and you'd be happy to put yourself in our hands, we'll do our best. What was I after saying, you daft Egypt? He called him an Egypt. I've given you 1,000 guineas to stand up there next to me, haven't I? Well, yes, but I wasn't really offering to just stand up there next to you. He's just disgusting. Oh, I think I see what's going on here. Sorry? I know what you're thinking. There's chance of a fella claims to have more money than the Queen. If that's true, why the blazes can he hire the finest lawyer in all of England? Because he did it. That's the only explanation. Well? Well... Not at all? Not at all, although it is a little strange to be honest. Why don't you have a lawyer, I mean? That would be the fault of the Reaper. Sorry, did you say Reaper? Aye, the Grim Reaper of the Bailey. Lord Beric von Zeeks. Ah, that's the guy, it's the prosecutor. Beric von Zeeks is like the, vampire-looking dude. He's the prosecutor. The prosecutor is the Grim Reaper? When Van Zeeks stands for the prosecution, they call the accused his sacrificial lambs. And to this day? I don't think so. He is pretty cool looking, I have to admit, from what I have seen. I think he drinks wine, too. In every single trial in which he's been the prosecutor, the accused has been damned. What? So it's reached a desperate situation. Where there's no one willing to stand in defense against the fella at all. You can say he's a living legend of the Old Bailey. Goodness, Lord Beric van Zeeks. Must be an exceptionally talented prosecutor then. Talented isn't the word you're looking for, madam. It's cursed. Cursed? What on earth? It's one hell of a test. Send me a test against someone that apparently has never lost. The defendant is summoned, and his counsel. Please make your way into the courtroom. Your trial is about to begin. His counsel? That would be me. Oh, 'tis time. Well then, fella, don't let me down. But I don't know anything about the case. You haven't told me what happened. The video game, that's true. I don't know, some of these games are hard though. Until you showed your face here, I'd make up me mind so I had. Sorry? I decided that I had to defend myself in there. How would that have worked? And then he made an appearance, a student of law wouldn't know. Wait, but Naruhodo almost did it to himself. Or asked to defend himself. There's no accident, I assure you of that. It is fate. So don't get cold feet now, please. There are a few Ace Attorney games I did lose a few times before I finally won. The second one was the hardest. Against Franziska von Karma. She's really difficult. I literally know nothing about the case or about this man who stands accused. In fact, the only thing I do know is that I can't just turn my back on him. I see the prosecutor. Mr. Naruhodo, the man has no one. He'll have to stand alone in that courtroom, armed with nothing to defend himself. Ma'am. Yes, something that Kazuya would never have allowed to happen. Counsel for the defense, what are you doing? If you're late for the start of the trial, you will lose your right to stand. I'll be right there. Alright, here we go. It's happening then. My first trial in British court. Hope you're watching over me, Kazuya. I was just thinking of Kazuya from Smash, just looking down, arms crossed. Hope you're looking down on me, Kazuya. because I have no idea how I'm going to manage this. Oh, it is. We got about 15 minutes left. Oh, I believe this one, it's the pointing. Oh, I thought she meant 10 o'clock. I thought you meant 10 o'clock. The pointing. I believe the case is ran like the Phoenix Wright versus Professor Layton, or is it Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright? Either way. Tomato, tomato. I believe it's like that game. So this is the highest court in Great Britain, the Old Bailey. Centuries of history in this place is palpable, isn't it? It's so different to the Supreme Court in Japan. It feels both imposing and serene at the same time. The atmosphere almost makes words redundant. Whatever the country, determining a person's guilt or innocence is a way of solemn affair. Oh, I'm starting to choke now. May I say something, Mr. Naruhito? Oh, yes. What? You're so nervous. Your eyes look ready to pop out of your head again. I know. I just can't help it. I have a sword. I have a Kazuya sword. That's the old judge.
Ho ho ho. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are here today to determine the guilt or innocence of Mr. Magnus McGilded. I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution, fully prepared.
And something for him, I don't know. That must be the Reaper of the Bailey. Yes, he's like a vampire. Really does look fully prepared to dispatch his next poor victim to the underworld.
Counsel for the defense. You appear to be Eastern. You speak English?
Huh? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. He asked if the defense was ready. They couldn't be further from ready if I tried. Oh, no hablo inglés. That's all I know.
Those eyes please me. Opponents. They shroud your fear, your doubt, your trepidation. They run wild, clinging to some phantom notion of courage. The quintessential look of a sacrificial lamb.
Where's Breakfast English? I think it's Breakfast English. Up. Cold shiver just ran down my spine all the way to the tips of my toes.
Now, Mr. McGilded.
Yes, my lord.
You stand accused of murder, a capital offense. You could be sent to the gallows if found guilty. Are you quite sure you wish to entrust your defense to this foreigner?
As I've always said, me lord, 'tis a grand thing to have opportunities to the young. Even if the fellow is a student from some little island off in the far east. It is not the British way to ignore the dangers to yourself and give those less fortunate a fair chance. There, yeah, Sprecher der Deutsch Vampir. I'd like to think that the acts of chivalry to Great British Empire are proud. Listen to me, Mr. Good. What a fine gentleman London has in him. Do you hear that he donated £5,000 to the government the other day? Mother, please, may we go and play in McGilded Park? It seems that everyone in the public gallery is firmly behind Mr. McGilded. That's definitely welcome news, and he certainly has a way with words. I'm surprised you couldn't convince anyone to defend him.
Eloquently put, Mr. McGilded, and most laudable sentiments. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I am sure I need hardly remind you that you 6 members of the public have been selected for your impartiality. Are you ready to proceed? Yes, my lord, if task is to send riders to the gala where they belong, I'm more than ready. Too many voices. At the manor, his lordship always says we should dispose of Roche promptly. Naturally, I agree.
Yeah, any criminals here shouldn't be wishing they never set eyes on me.
He doesn't even talk.
I feel chill.
Oh, don't mind me, my dears. I'll just be getting on with me knitting. Must finish these mitts for my grandson.
That guy sucks. Mr. Naruto, those people are... He's drinking in court. The jury, yes. Something we don't have in Japan yet. That's right, I've only ever read about it. Here in Great Britain, the court's final verdict depends on the opinions of these 6 jurors. The judge passes sentences according to the law, but the jurors determine guilt based on common sense. So the defendant is ultimately judged from 2 completely different points of view. But how exactly did the jurors give their verdict? I don't know, but I'm sure it'll become clear as the trial progresses. Yes.
Prosecutor of Z. My lord. It's been a number of years since we've seen you here in the courtroom. I thought you renounced your fame.
I'm known as the Reaper of the Bailey, my lord. Infamy rather than fame, I would say. But yes, 5 years have passed since I last spread my wings in this capacity. I don't know, consult your book. Yeah, the book should tell you. Alright, Van Zeek's 32 years old. He looks a little older than that, to be honest. A prosecutor known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Supposedly the souls of those he prosecutes are eternally damned, one way or another.
So what brings you back? Is there some change of circumstances in which the court should be aware?
He looks 32. Not 32. What? Oh, he looks 32,000. Sorry, my eyes misread that. I leave that to your imagination, my lord. So the Reaper has been out of action for 5 years. Why did he have to choose today of all days to make a comeback? Don't lose heart, Mr. Naruto. She's gonna be really helpful, though.
As you wish, sir. The court nevertheless welcomes your return. Now then, opening statements, I think. A summary of the case, if you please.
Certainly, my lord. As your lordship is aware, this is the case of the overwhelming simplicity. You must be the only ones in here who aren't aware. The incident took place in the late evening. 3 days passed. The hour was some minutes after 10. The victim was a maker of building bricks, known in the community as Thrice-Fired Mason. Sorry? Thrice?
He was a very accomplished craftsman. Bricks he fired were said to be almost indestructible.
Oh, wow, he died. The victim's corpse was discovered in an omnibus in service on the streets of London at the time. A dagger that had been thrust into the victim's abdomen is believed to be the ultimate cause of death. Here, in the autopsy report from the investigating medical officer at Scotland Yard.
Thank you, counsel. I shall accept that in the photograph as evidence.
Yeah, he buried it. Report prepared by the Scotland Yard coroner gives the cause of death as internal hemorrhaging as a result of a single stab wound to the abdomen. The photograph of the victim taken on the omnibus. The knife in the abdomen is clearly visible, but his face is partially obscured from view by an old crooked hat. And one further item of evidence. The prosecution wishes to submit these as well. I put the real cause of death that he sneezed so hard. That guy he used. Same. Used to frame Ugly Mr. Beast.
And these are... Good lord! Is that blood, counsel?
Yes, my lord. Seized by a policeman who arrived at the scene. These gore-soaked gloves were taken from the hands of the accused when he was arrested. What? So he had the gloves. It has me thinking of the oh man, what was the name of that case now? Oh well, it'll come back to mind later. I'll bring it up then. Mr. McGill's gloves had blood on them. Yes, I will accept these as evidence as well. The leather gloves the defendant was wearing at the time of the incident. There's blood stain on the right glove. How did I get into this? I'm backed into a corner before I even started. Continuing. According to the driver of the omnibus, there were only passengers traveling inside his vehicle at the time. Only 2? Obviously, one of those passengers was the deceased brickmaker, Mr. Mason. The other was the accused, Magnus McGilded. Well, rather damning circumstances to say the least. Defendant, what say you?
This wasn't me.
Well, of course, I have no recollection of such a thing. Mr. McGilded. To be sure, I rode the omnibus that evening. But whenever I'm in a carriage, I'm taken away in a fierce tiredness and I'm always succumb to it. First point, there you go.
Are you claiming to have been asleep?
It is the motion of the carriage, my lord, lit and so it is, and when I opened my eyes again, there was a desperate sight before me, the body of a man I'd never laid eyes on before in me life. Wrong pointer. Now I ask you, what good-hearted soul wouldn't rush to help a fella bleeding from his stomach? I wasn't about to start worrying about me gloves now, was I? I reached out to give the man a hand. The blood got into the gloves then, after the man had been killed. Unfortunately, the statement of the drivers is only the beginning. Seems suspicious. Wrong. What? That's not all of it?
There were multiple witnesses to the precise moment at which the brickmaker was fatally stabbed.
Dang, she started typing fast.
Order! Order! Order!
Ordar.
When the killing took place, only the victim and the accused were inside the carriage, and there were witnesses to the crime. This is not just a case of compelling evidence. It's the nail in the coffin for the accused.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Thank you, counsel. The circumstances of the crime have been made quite clear.
I'm sure that'll come up at some point.
I think we'll hear testimony from these witnesses first of all.
Your wish is my command.
Bailiff, bring the witnesses in at once.
I imagine Zeeks is probably the ancestor of Von Karma. They're notorious liars.
Witnesses, your names and occupations.
My name is, well, everyone calls me Beppo. I drive an omnibus in the East End.
Bruce Fairplay. I'm a banker in the city.
My name's First. Lady First. I have... I like the name. I mean, you're not wrong. I make hats for gents. Let's begin by confirming the facts. 3 days ago, at a short time after 10 o'clock in the evening, all of you present in the stand were in the omnibus and witnessed to the aforementioned incident. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What, right?
Yes, sir. That's right, sir. First guy's freezing.
Very well then, let's proceed to your formal testimonies, please. Each of you will tell the court precisely what you saw.
Alright, witness testimony.
It was the last bus of the evening, so I had a few customers. I remember it well.
The victim and the man accused of killing him were sat next to each other inside the bus. Then out of the blue, the accused just reached over and plunged a knife right into his guts.
That's right, he stabbed him. I screamed, I did. Couldn't help it.
As soon as I heard the scream, I stopped my bus, and then I saw it too.
An ambiguous testimony, I must say.
Exactly, my lord. These men witnessed the incident in the omnibus with their own eyes. I'd like to ask a question, if I may.
Yes, counsel?
Well, this testimony makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever.
Why not?
Well, the incident took place inside a moving carriage, didn't it?
As has been clearly stated from the outset, yes.
Well, in that case, how could those two witnesses possibly have seen what happened? There's no way they could have seen the inside of the moving carriage. Oh, there you go.
How quaint. I'd read the civilization in the Eastern Islands nations was a good century behind our own. But you're here in London yourself. Are you really still ignorant about our omnibuses?
Huh?
Tell me, Nipponese friend, have you even traveled in an omnibus?
Good point, but I think the omnibuses are see-through, but I was imagining they probably didn't see it. It was moving. Well, no. We only arrived in London this morning.
No matter. I've arranged for us to see for ourselves, the actual scene of the crime, that is.
What do you mean? The actual scene?
A carriage is designed to be moved, after all. Presumably you understand that much?
Yes?
The omnibus in which the bloody crime took place in here today, in this very building.
Here? What? The entire carriage?
Bailiff, bring forth the stricken omnibus.
Bring us the ride. There it is. So that's an omnibus. The omnibus. Can't believe they could bring something so enormous in here. Britain's courtrooms are amazing.
As you can see, the omnibus is pulled by 2 horses, and can carry up to 8 passengers.
Real.
4 passengers seated inside enclosed cabinet and another 4 on the rooftop deck above. Every Londoner knows that the best views of the city's architecture and sights are to be had from the top of the omnibus. And I should point out to our foreign guests that there's a skylight in the roof, allowing a view of the interior from the seats above.
Ah, a sky... Oh!
The penny drops at last, I see. These 2 gents were occupying the rooftop seats of the omnibus when murder took place. That is how they came to witness the grim incident. Through the skylight.
Ah, so that's how. Makes perfect sense.
Well, counsel, this is a first. In all my years behind the bench, I've never experienced the crime scene itself being brought into the courtroom. There are a number of important clues remaining inside the carriage, my lord. I would like to submit the omnibus itself as evidence. That is the prosecution's wish.
Yes.
Very well, I see no reason why not. This omnibus is hereby formally accepted as evidence.
The 8-seater omnibus that was on the scene of the crime. There are passengers both inside the carriage and on the roof deck that night. Can't believe it! The entire crime scene entered as evidence. Alright, I think that's a good stopping point. We're past the hour mark. But we got the omnibus as evidence. It's sleep time. Like I said, I'll make these about an hour long. That way we're not staying up too late. I'll try to do this like just at night before bed. Okay. Well, thanks everyone for watching. Y'all all have a good evening.